This is where we tell the truth and shame
You
the
already
devil.
know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited.
All right, come on in, people.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
All right, that's where we at. We telling the truth.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Come on in, people. Come on in.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Mm-hmm. That's what we got to do. We got to tell the truth and shame the devil.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
That's what we got to do. I love being
You already
black.
know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited.
Mm-hmm.
I love being black. I love being black.
Yes, I do. I don't know about you,
I
but I
love being black.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Come on in, people. Chicago
I love
Crime
being
Part
black.
6. All right. We doing our thing tonight. Double bubble, double hitter tonight. Make sure you share the page. Double hitter. Double hitter tonight. All right. What's going on? Yep, this tonight, right now. All right, big brother. Peace and blessing. Muhammad. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ronnie Johnson. Yeah. All right, we on, people. This is live, uncut, unedited. What's up, Donna Williams? What's going on? All right. All right. Hey, people, don't forget to leave me some stars now. Leave me some stars. So help me stay afloat. Not begging. Facebook don't pay my bills now. Little something, little help me out. Pay a little internet bill or something. That's cool. You know, I ain't asking much. This is all free information. I tell you. Live. Sharice, I see you. Donna Bridges, I see you. Donna Williams, I see you. I see you. Ray Bands, I see you. Ronald Johnson, Mohammed Razel, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. Katie Brown, I see. Diane Gangs, I see you. I see you. Elizabeth Madison. All right. Louis Ramsey. Oh, yeah, man. Benny Lee did his thing tonight. Miss Pillington, what's going on, friend? Tina, Anna, Laura. All right. This is where we tell the truth and shame the
Tell
devil.
the truth and
Deborah
shame the devil.
Singleton. Gilda Simone. What's up, Gilda? K.L. Adams Sr. What's going on, sir? Lynn Miller. What's going on? Peggy Gay. I sound like a school teacher pronouncing these names. People, this live. I don't know what my YouTube family at. They ain't even on here yet. All right, people, this live, uncut, unedited. And this show we're taking calls. Last show we didn't take calls. And there you go, my YouTube family. Family, listen, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube, make sure you go subscribe to my YouTube at Martin G. Johnson. And so you can get my notifications. That'd be great. That'd be great. And make sure also you share this video. I'm going to try to share it. I think my phone dying. I might die. I know it's going to die before this live is out. But just come on in, people. Let's talk. Crime, I'm hearing that a parent got shot, which I didn't know anything about. I heard of it. Maybe someone can get on here and tell me a little bit more about it, what had happened on 59th and Union. It said a mother got shot. So we want to check that out. I want to know more about that. So, man, it's it. All right, people. So let's live, uncut, and edit. All right. So we want to find out about this mother. Hopefully hopefully she's not deceased. Yeah, that's what I heard on 59th and Union. Sunshine Pool, how you doing? All right. All right. All right. All right. Kia Simone, I see you. I see you. I see you. Ronnie Johnson, I see you again. Kiki J, what's up, Kiki? I see you. I see you. Marie Cunningham. Hey, Marie. All right. Lynn Miller. I think I got you already. Who else I missed? Did I get you? Katie Brown? Katie Brown. Somebody, Katie Brown said, I don't believe black people doing all the shooting. And you know what? Let me say that, Miss Katie Brown. Let me just say this to you. I'm in agreement with you. And let me just say this. You may have a black person pulling the trigger, but if the black person is sent by another person of another race, he or she is just as guilty. So that's how that works. We call it Deion J. Williams. All right. Foundation. Henry L. Hartsfield. What's going on? All right, man. Let's go on. Shirley Boyd. How you doing, Miss Shirley? Appreciate you. Demonta. I think I'm pronouncing that. King. All right. And we got a lot going on. They said the news is saying that a straight bullet went through the lady window. Okay. Wow. See, I was on live, so I wouldn't have no way of knowing that it happened. And we're going to talk about, this is Crime, Chicago Crime Part 6. And we can talk about crime every day. Every day. We got to talking about molestation and rape and prostitution and sex trafficking last night. It was so deep. Trust me, people, if you get a chance, go back and replay last night live. It was so deep, especially for the women. I spoke out of my spirit. Didn't know I was going to go in that direction, but God used me and I allowed him to use me. I tell you. All right. Andre Rose, what's going on? All the way from Philippines. Okay. Alonzo Cooley. All right. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Brother from the Philippines. All right. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. I'm worldwide. Look at me. Worldwide. Look at that. Look at God. Give God all the praises. Okay, I'm looking for a caller. Call in.
Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389.
Again.
Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389.
All right, I need some callers. All right, Andre Rose. I used to level 66, live on 66 in Parnell. Okay. I stayed on 68 in Embro. Okay. All right, people, let's come on with it. Let's get this show, as the young folks say, cracking. All right. Let me say something to my young people. Young people. Anybody that introduces you to drugs is not your friend. They are trying to destroy you. Young people, anybody introduce you to drugs, they're not your friend. They're trying to destroy you. Well, you say, well, Martin, I already smoke weed, I already pop. That's the difference. But if you're a weed smoker and you don't pop pills, and here they are trying to introduce you to another drug, they're trying to destroy you. You got some people out here that would have introduced drugs to another person so they can get them hooked and they both getting high together. I tell you, it's some wicked people out here. Wicked. Crystal Red. Hey, Crystal, how you doing? Brother Nate, what's going on? LaWanda Trailer. Hey, how you doing, my dear sister? How you doing? DeMonte King. All right. Rentless Credit Repair. I used to live on Mario Brothers on 79th and Cottage. Okay. Tam. Okay. Forever Me. Okay. Diane Gaines. Oh, I got to call her early. All right. That's what I'm talking about. This is live, uncut, unedited. This is where we
tell the truth.
And what?
And shame the devil.
All right, caller. You are the next person on my live right now. 9433. 9433. Hopefully you can hear me and I can hear you. All right, caller. K Boogie. What's good? Hey, how you doing? Love Sabrina. Hey, caller, what do you want to talk about today? Hopefully crime. Go ahead.
I called to talk about.
You what?
I was accused. I said I called to talk about. I was accused. Being on drugs.
You was accused.
I was accused. I was going to go work for this lady and her mom, and she had the nurse to ask me was I on drugs.
Yeah, and what was your response?
I was totally indifferent.
Hmm.
He
Wow.
totally insulted me.
Wow. Wow.
That was an insult to me.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know me from a can of paint, and you insulted my character.
Mm-hmm.
So you never judge a book by its cover.
Uh-huh. That's right.
So
Joel Smith.
so come to find out, she was the ex-crack kid. She's the ex-dope king.
Mm. Oh, wow. Wow. She
So
tried.
I got very insulted.
What is
Yeah.
this? Is this home health care stuff? What is it?
Yeah, yes.
I would have requested for another
Yes.
client.
Well, you know what I did? Some money, all money ain't good money.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime if you have to call a stranger in to take care of your mama, something wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
Something is wrong with you.
Mm. Wow.
So I had to call in tonight and get an ordinance that never judge a book by its cover.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I also told her the only drug I've been on is God.
Mm. Mm. Oh, wow.
So I had to call in tonight, Martin, and I had to set her with your ordinance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you for calling in, so you can hang around if you want to. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. We're looking for some more callers.
Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389.
That's a terrible thing to for someone to accuse another person of selling drugs. That is a terrible thing. Using drugs. That's a very terrible accusation. Accusing somebody. All right, I got another caller just calling in. Kimmy Harris, how you doing? All right, a few people that I missed. Cheryl Blakely, hey Cheryl, how you doing? Vicky Gavin, I see you. All right, that was I did Del Monte King. I think I got you. I think Phil Mecca something. I can't pronounce it, but don't be mad at me. Hey caller, you're live, uncut, unedited. Come on, talk to us.
Hey, Martin.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
All right. What's going on?
Kimmy Harris. Hey, we're talking about crime for the 6th time in a row. We're talking about crime part 6, and you want to talk about any particular crime, or it don't have to be a crime that somebody commit. You could talk about a crime that people do commit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Leonard.
So much. I see so much.
Oh, it's so much. It's so much. Barbara Cooper. Well, let me help you out a little bit. So the latest news is going on that on 59th and Union, they said that a mother, I don't know if she got shot, but a stray bullet came into a house. 59th and Union. Woo. Man, listen. Let me, I know what I could do. Let's have a confession tonight. That's what I want. Now I don't know sex stuff. Confession on about our children. Okay, let me help y'all out. What I mean by that. Let me help you on that. What I mean by that is some parents need to call in and just say, hey, Martin, I can't do nothing with my 13-year-old, my 12-year-old. Or, Martin, I'm scared of my 13-year-old. Martin, I did everything I could with my teenager. He won't listen. He sneak out the house while I'm at work. He beat up my other children. He steal things. I need some confession of some parents tonight about your child. Or you can say, I believe my child is gay, or I believe my child is messing with another woman, or I believe my child is messing around with older men. Confession tonight. I promise you, I won't reveal your name or nothing like that. We need some confession tonight. Because, see, that's the first step of getting healed. When you admit your problem, then you can identify the problem, you admit it, then we can begin to address it and help. And it's a lot. Come on now. For 3 females from the ages 13 to 14 and 2 males out 3-some in the morning, no school, nothing. Come on. Something is going on in these houses too. And don't get me wrong, I'm not just blaming mothers, I'm blaming fathers too. Something is not right. Go ahead.
Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
You can never say what your child won't do. So, I want to also put this out there too, to the parents. God will whoop you through your kids. So, you have to be careful on what you say, what Ray won't do, or what Bokeisha won't do. They will do it, and you won't even know about it.
Okay. And I need some parents to call in. This is confession night. We still on crime. This is confession. Because a lot of our children are involved in the street. You can call in. Let's talk about it. Some parents, you know your child is out there prostituting, you suspect. You know your child out there sleeping with older men, you suspect. You know your child out there running with the gay crowd, the lesbian and LGBTQ crowd. You have your suspicions. You know your son and daughters out there shooting people. You have your suspicions, robbing people on the trains and stuff like that. Oh man, this is a deep subject here. Some of you know what your children doing. Some of you guys is not naive what your children are doing out there. Again, I said yesterday, if you're not getting your son hair done, cut, or daughter hair done every week, and she come in house with a new hairdo every week, fresh hairdo, nice long crisp weave outfit, and you're not buying it and she's not working, you know what time it is. Somebody is financing her. You know what time it is. And if you have a son or daughter always smoking weed, always have weed, and you get weed from them, either they're selling it or somebody giving it to them. They don't have no job. This is real talk. Now, this is deep. This is where we
tell the truth.
Now, if you can't tell the truth,
devil,
you don't need to come on the show. Seriously. This is good. Yep, I need some confessions. Some parents. One parent on here says she needs some help. That's good. Need some confessions. Let me hit that call-in number.
Call-in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389.
Or you can call in and confess, say, hey, Martin, this is where I think I did wrong. I've done wrong with my child. I gave him everything he wanted, and I didn't demand anything back. I didn't demand that he keep his room clean. I didn't teach him how to clean up. I didn't teach him how to fold his clothes. He didn't take the garbage out. I didn't ask anything. I just gave him things, rewarded him with things for doing nothing. Oh, come on, call in, parents. I'm listening. This is a great topic. Oh, yeah, listen, this is real. This is real. Don't somebody said, don't get scared now. I got a caller. Oh, I think that's Sarge. But listen, parents, I need y'all to call in. Because some of you know, you got your little son staying down in the basement. You never go down in the basement. You don't invade the privacy, but you paying the mortgage, you paying the rent, and you don't know what they're doing in that basement. Seriously,
They don't have to tell who they are. They don't have to say who they are.
No.
A lot of people just don't, they don't want to say their name.
Mm-hmm. I think it's Sarge 912.
Yeah, hey, what's going on, bro? I was uploading a YouTube video, so
okay.
Yeah, I got that done. Where you at right now? So I'm not behind.
Okay, just listen real quick. We having a confession right now. And what we're doing, and we're asking parents to call in to confess. Stuff like, I'm afraid of my child, or stuff like this. I suspect my child prostituting. I suspect my child from being gay. I suspect my child for selling drugs, or I suspect my child is shooting people and robbing people and things like that. So that's where we are today. And I want to hear from some parents, because you had 3 females from ages 13 to 14 and 2 males out 3 something in the morning, in the wee hours in the morning, in a stolen vehicle, crashed and hit a fire hydrant. And they all had to go to the hospital. And I know, I'll say this just to be safe, I know 3 out of the 5 probably have parents just not in the system or nothing like that. Mama, what you got to say about that? You got to be embarrassed. You got to be embarrassed if your son was in that car, that stolen car, and your daughter. You got to be embarrassed. And you get over here on Facebook and talk about everybody else. That's why we got to be swift to hear and slow to speak. Because when we ain't got our house in order, it'll come back and hunt us. I'm telling you, it's okay to have an opinion on social media, but if your sons and daughters out there doing these things, involved in these things, it will bring shame on you. And just like I said, Sarge, in one of my other shows, if you can take credit for them going to college, being a salutatorian and valedictorian and a great athlete on the basketball team, football team, and volleyball team, and good and honors and academics and all that, you can take the bad too. You can't separate what you don't want. You got to take the good, the bad, and ugly.
Yeah.
You got to be. I'm telling you. Your son smoking weed every day, he don't have a job. Where is he getting the weed from? You're not buying it for him. He don't have a job. How is he getting this weed? You know your son got a pistol inside that house, but you afraid to say something to him. Well, Martin, these young people out here, they got guns too, so I'd rather for my son to get caught with it than without it. You got the same street mentality as these young folks out here. Same street. Let me read this, what somebody just said. I'll let you guys talk. They don't get on the news and apologize to the families of their children victims, so they not coming on this life. And she right. How many parents to get on the news and apologize to the families who their sons or daughters victimized, shot and killed? They don't do it. But these young children out here that's driving in stolen cars, carjacking, most of them have parents. I'm going to go a little further, and some of them have 2 parents in the household. All right, I'm going to start. Come on, Sarge, spark a conversation, man. Somebody's scared.
Oh, well, I tell you, I saw something on the Atlanta news.
Uh-oh.
It was heartbreaking.
Let's hear about it.
All right, there was this woman, her boyfriend, then beat her 10-year-old son into the hospital.
Oh, Lord.
Lord have mercy.
Mm.
He got blood clots in his lung, broken bones, swelling of the brain. And this wasn't like a one-time thing. This had been ongoing.
Mm. Is he
She got no bond because she knew they gave him a $6,500 bond. I'm like, he shouldn't have got no bond either.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna give him a bond when he the one that put his hands on it? Well, you know, she's supposed to have been a responsible parent. Oh, so what? He her age, he ain't responsible. Y'all just give him a pass, huh?
Was he a stepdad or a boyfriend or a real dad?
A boyfriend.
Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. And you know what? And let me say this. I'm going to say this out of respect. I want to say this. Okay, a lot of us that's out here dating, meeting young ladies, and we know they have small children, teenage children. And a lot of us, especially men, and we don't tolerate our own children talking crazy to us. But you got to remember one thing. You can't really put your hand on nobody else's child. We live in that day and age and time. You have to address their mother and have the mother handle their business. You know, because I understand these young people, 10, 11, 12 years old, they'll cuss you out like a grown person. And tell you what they'll do to you. They'll shoot you and do all that stuff. Then when you start beating them down, the first thing they say, I'm young, I'm a teenager, I'm young. Not justifying this case in Atlanta, Sarge, but it has happened.
I know.
Okay, I'm not justifying that, but we have to be careful
Yeah, I know.
when we date women that got children, small children, teenagers. You can't really put your hand on them. It's not cool. The mom have to check them. You just have the mom back. Let the mom do the discipline. You just have her back so he can't beat the mom up. So now I think that what you think about that, what I just said, Sarge.
Yeah, that'll work. You know, I mean, depending on like the situation with the woman, if she don't want you being a capital punishment disciplinarian of the child, you know, then you'd be like, you better go get that butt. And if they buck up, I got your back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that goes.
Yeah. That's crazy. 36.99. What's your thought?
That situation there was just horrible, man. That dude, he got a $5,500 bail.
Yeah, that's probably too low.
But that baby, that's a baby to us.
Yeah,
that baby up in the hospital fighting for his life.
Mm-hmm. And y'all know these young people, they will get under your skin, and you're gonna have to have self-discipline, courage, not to say nothing, just move around. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, my own children don't talk back to me. And I know I'm not gonna tolerate nobody else's children talking back to me. I'm just gonna move around. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yes, like Martin, like you have the 12-year-old and the 14-year-old twins today over here.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna have a contest.
Yeah.
Who can spank the worst from not taking showers? Man, I went nuts. We got in the car. We drove to the grocery store. I'm like, my nose hairs are curling up. I'm like, who didn't take a shower? Because, you know, they're at that age. You know what I mean?
Right.
They tried to get the little pubic hairs. And it was like, funky. We in the grocery store. I walked up to each one of them individually. All of them funky. So what y'all having a make my funk the P-Funk contest? As soon as we get to the house, hit that shower. What's wrong with y'all? Now I know why y'all was locked up in the room and wouldn't come out. Y'all having a who could stank the worst contest.
Right. I got
we were boys.
Hold it, Sarge. I want to read a message, and I got a new caller. Okay. Don Tyson said, if we were in a committed relationship and I can't discipline your child and vice versa, we're not going to be in agreement moving forward into marriage. That makes sense. Discipline and correction is not abuse. I agree with you. Hey, new caller, 2634 caller. 2634. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, how you doing, everyone?
Hey.
I'm calling because, like you said, a lot of parents be scared to come online because they be scared or they feel like they kind of like disappointed, because they feel like, I did my best and try to raise my child. Because like I say, when we had our kids, we didn't get no instructions on how to raise our kids. We did the best what we can in trying to raise them. And as me being a single mom, I worked at 2 jobs, didn't have really too much of support in raising my 2 kids with my daughter and my son. Well, majority of the time my daughter was with my mom, but I most likely had my son. And it seemed like the boy was the most hardest to more likely raise because I guess my son kind of felt like he was angry because his father wasn't there. So it was hard for me to try to raise him because it's like no matter what I did, it's like he threw it back in my face. I mean, my kids never wanted for nothing. I mean, I broke my neck. I even walked around raggedy myself to make sure my kids had what they needed. And it's like I would get off work, take my son to school, had to run around the back because once I let him through the front, he was going out the back. So I had to go and catch him and go in the classroom. Like on a movie, how the way the teacher was sitting in the classroom with the child and say, he knows that answer. I had to do that. I mean, there was many times I had to go through my son's book bag where I found drugs and guns in a house. And I had to pull the drugs out and then had to tell my son who gave it to you. There was many times I had to step to gang leaders, let them know that this is mine. I don't give him no drugs. And if you do or whatever, I dump him out. I was like, you put your hands on them, that's the price you get because you shouldn't have given it to them in the first place. You have a lot of these older people because they messed up their life. They use your kids. My son had the thing is that he's a follower. He had to worry about what other people thought him because he was a mama boy. My son went to the best schools and everything, but we had to, for some odd reason, come back to the city where we had to stay here in the city. And first day when my son started school, he got jumped on. And I used to tell him, baby, why, you skipped in school? And he like, well, Mom, you just don't know. When you got to go to school, you got these boys and stuff trying you. So either you're going to get in or you're going to have a problem with it. And I did everything with fighting, trying to protect my son. My son is 32 years old, and I'm still going through that fight. He got to the point where he got so distressed that he smoked weed, and he smokes weed a lot. I put him to rehab, try to have counseling or whatever with me and his father. So my way he can express to his father how he feel about that. Father, would never support. Now since my son is grown now, all of a sudden him and his dad have a relationship, but the tears that I went through, going to the jail, putting my hand to the glass or whatever, asking my son, like, what did I do wrong that this is what I get from you? Well, all I wanted from you is for you to go to college and do this. My son had a learning disability where I asked his father to help me get a tutor for him, and he wouldn't even help me do it. So I had to do the best I can in trying to raise him. And there was times where he has so much anger where I see when his girlfriends where he had batter where he fight his girlfriends, and that's the most hurting thing for me for a woman to see your son hit down another woman. You know, I'll be less of a woman sit up there and say, how you can do that? You know, I don't appreciate I didn't raise you to be a monster like this. You know, some parents, you need to accept the fact or whatever that because the decision that your kids make don't mean that you're an unfit parent. Your kids got their own mind and they're going to do what they want to do. But as long as they're in your house, you got to let them know, I'm not going to allow no drugs. I'm not going to allow you to mistreat nobody. There's some times me and my son went head to head. But like I let him know, I'm the one that ride with you. You know, I'm the one that you beating down that in the end you're going to need. That was sitting at that jail when nobody else was sitting with you. When you was in that hospital where they beat you down from the street and I was running to the hospital sitting there holding your hand, please God, don't take my son. You sons don't understand and you daughters don't understand. The stuff that y'all do is putting pressure and heartaches on your mother and your father, if you even got fathers out here raising their kids alone. The more that you put the stress on her, on us, it's basically is killing us. So when we have health issues and everything, it's because of us worrying about you. And it's so hard to throw your hands up on your child because that's your child. My son has done a lot of things where I couldn't throw my hand up on him because he's mine. And I feel like, you know, God, he has done things to disappoint him. And God didn't throw his hands up on us. It's so hard to throw your hands up on your child. It's hard. It is so hard. And I fought so long to save my son and give him so much courage. But when you got society out here that's not helping, it's terrible because he tries to get jobs and everything, but they don't want to give him a chance, or because he's a hard worker and if he see that you're going to mistreat him, he's going to express his mind, then you have a problem with that. You know, and then you wonder why these kids feel like, you know, well, I want to go to work when you won't even give me a chance.
Let me say this to you, Mom. I have so much respect for you just coming on here. You have said tonight a mouthful. You have stepped up to the plate. And a lot of these parents,
I feel like you should never be ashamed. You should never be ashamed of what you try to do in raising your kids. The decision that they make is not your fault. You can't feel sorry for what your kids did. And a lot of these parents are probably scared to pick up the phone and say something because they feel ashamed. They feel ashamed, like, what did I go wrong? I did everything. Why did he or she do this? But you have to accept the fact it's not you.
Yeah, that's true.
Mama. Let me say.
You are awesome.
Go ahead. I want to say something, but go ahead, Larissa. Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell my sister you are an awesome mom. I'm proud of you for coming on here. Raising kids don't come with a manual and they don't come with instructions. It's not no perfect person out here. If it's a perfect out here, show it to me. But you keep your hand in God's hand and you keep praying for your child. Don't give up on your child, okay?
I can't.
You can't. A praying mother, never gives up on their child. I'm a living witness.
Amen.
All man telling the world. All man telling the world.
Me too.
I tell the world, I dare go to hell for now, but guess what?
Me too.
I got two out here, and I love their dirty toenails because guess what? When they stank into the world, you smell good tomorrow. So don't give
That's
up
right.
on your child.
Hmm.
And Martin, before we close out the show tonight, I want to pray for our youth.
Okay.
Because see, a whole lot of people don't think prayer changes things.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me finish saying what I said. I didn't know I was coming back on tonight, but I just came back on. Let me just say this to the parent, to the mother. I appreciate you for coming on here. I commend you for your courage.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, there are similar parents that's listening to this broadcast right now, this live, this podcast, have some of the same things going on in their household as you are right now.
That's right.
They
That's
just don't
right.
have the guts enough to get on here and tell it. Trust me. Trust me. They have done everything they could do. They've loved their child. They hold them. They fed them, protect them to the best of their ability.
Right.
But and
That's right.
I'm gonna say something. Any mother out there that got a young teenage, even a middle-aged son in his 20s, I can imagine that you can't sleep at nighttime because you hoping that you don't get that call and say your son just been shot or your
Yes.
daughter. That
Yes.
is a scary feeling, people. And
Yes.
no parent, that's a parent greatest nightmare to get that call and say, hey, I'm sorry to bring you the bad news. Your son just been shot or your daughter, she's missing. She got kidnapped or,
Yes.
gang raped or something. That is some terrible news. Terrible news.
Yes.
And we have to lay hands on our children and pray for them and teach them the best of our ability. We cannot rob our children because we single. We got to
That's
give
right.
them the attention that they need, and those of our children that require special attention, we got to give them a little bit more than we give the others, especially if they
That's
have a
right.
learning disability or a physical disability.
Amen.
That's right.
And the mother said today,
Yeah.
he had to go to school. He had to go to school. You got to walk through this stuff. It's either get bullied or start doing the bullying. And
Right.
no one wants to get bullied. No one
That's
wants
it.
to get talked about. No one when you facing these things. It's a lot of peer pressure out here with our young people. It's the video games. It's the influence of video games, the music influence, the drugs influence,
Or sometimes
the peer
family
pressure.
members.
The
Sometimes family
yeah,
members.
I agree with you. The
Mhm.
family members. We talked about that yesterday, allowing our children to go over their cousin's house, their first cousin's house, and your sister or your brother don't run the house like you run. You let your children go over there. They can do any and everything. Gang bang, smoke weed, drink, bring girls in the room. And they know you don't allow that in your house. Go ahead, Sarge. I cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can try what you can. I mean, it's like last time I was married, I tried. I mean, the boy was 16 when I came in. You know what I mean? So I just talked to him. I said, look, I don't expect you to be calling me dad or nothing like that. You damn near grown man. You 16 years old. And I was trying to give him that right guidance. And to the look, it was like the perfect thing. My son had a brother, and he's the only child, so now he got a brother, and they got along great. He just didn't want to leave Chicago, staying there with grandma, because grandma let him get away with the this, that, and the third, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'd be laying in the bed asleep, and there'd be a police siren go by. His mother would be asleep, dead asleep, right? She get to shaking and carrying on and this and that, and wake up, I'm like, you all right? Where's Marlon? Like, in Chicago with some grandmother. I'm like, okay, that told me right there. There's a problem here that I don't know about. I don't know everything that I need to know, right? So, a couple of years went by. She used to turn her cell phone volume down, right? Because, you know, I got to get up I got to be on the base early in the morning, right?
Right.
I see her phone just flashing. I look. I'm like, your mother been blowing your phone up. What the? Yeah, call your mama. I got to put on my physical fitness clothes, right? She's like, get Leonard the phone. I'm like, the hell she want to talk about? Hey, what's going on? Marlins in Stroger Hospital. He was shot 6 times.
Oh.
His mother fell on the floor. She wasn't no good for nothing. She was done. She was done. So I had to call my people up, and that's one of the benefits about the military. They will pay you or something like that. Book your flight right now. Book your hotel. Book your rental vehicle. We pay for that. Go to it's called AER, Army Emergency Relief. Take this paperwork over to them with the receipts. They're gonna cut you a check, and you ain't got to pay it back. See?
Wow.
He's lucky he survived.
And I feel you. I understand because that's what I basically go to because I had my son's grandmother, you know, she had like 11 kids. And I remember she used to shake a lot. And I remember me asking her, and she called me, she said that it's the mother shake syndrome. And I like, what do you mean? And she said, baby, when you have 11 kids and they're out at night and they're not at home, you're going to walk that floor back and forth. You hear sirens, anything, you're going to be looking out the window.
Mm-hmm.
When you get them phone calls, you're going to be scared to look at that phone. And if back, you know, we had that call ID, and if you see that call ID and you see that 312-747, you already hard going to the plug because you know what number that is.
The police, yeah.
So it just got to the point where I used to pray each and every day when I call my son's cell phone or my daughter, and they were like, Mama, we grown. I don't care. If you don't answer that phone, I'm going to blow it up until I hear your voice. You know, if the sirens went off and I heard gunshots, I'm putting on my shoes and coat on my way going outside looking for mine. Trying to find out where they at with my belt or whatever so I can beat them back home, especially when you're late getting home. But then when they do get home, get that relief, but you're just about ready to kill them because you've been scared all that time waiting for them to come home.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight on a woman.
Yes.
See, with men, with men, it hit different. It hit different with us. That's a lot of weight on a woman.
Right, because
even
the thing is
with
with the
son,
woman is, and then with the woman is because for the simple fact, we have that bond with that child because we carry that child inside.
Exactly. And I try to tell people that. They tell me it's all the same. No, it's not the same.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Our child, as they say, their first love is a man. No, it's not. My first child, that's my first love is my child.
Okay. Ma'am, hold it right.
My son is my first child.
Ma'am, hold it right there. I got a new call. I didn't know I had a caller. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
224. Go ahead, caller. 224. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, sir. Old timer. I thought that was you. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Well, it's tough hearing these things.
Old timer.
And I got
old timer.
You got an echo.
Yeah. Old timer. I don't know if you got me on a loud mic or Bluetooth. You got to take me off, talk directly in the phone because you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Okay.
I want to hear what you got to say. Mic check. Testing. Give me a.
Okay. Yeah.
That's better. Go ahead.
Okay, it's tough, hearing these things. But man, we have to admit how long this been going on.
Right.
And if our children are not inside the house by 8:30 at night, anything is liable to happen. Now this goes up until the 16. I mean, our children can't continue to take over the house. And I can't say they running with somebody because they might be the leader. See, somebody got to be the leader. I think I turned the TV on this morning with 3 children in a stolen car.
I think it was 5. Yeah.
I mean, at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't blame nobody but the parents for this. And it goes back to how we raising our children. But sometimes
you can't blame the parent because you have some parents that work at nighttime. And half the time they thinking that they leave and they think their children at home. So sometimes you don't know the situation of basically what's going on. Because sometimes the parents is not at home.
Yeah,
so
but we talking about a lot of children though. We talking about a lot. We're not talking about 1 or 2. We talking about these children are running in the packs of 12. And they're running in packs of 15. They're running up in the store, razzooing the stuff off the shelf. They fighting. I mean, there ain't no 1 or 2. And these are all people that know one another. And we don't seem to have a solution for our own children. And right now, we got to admit, black children are the only ones that's really doing that stuff.
Excuse me.
That's not
Do you
true.
have any kids?
Well, okay.
Do you have any kids?
I got 5. I got 5 children, and what I'm saying is
No, I asked you that for a reason. The parents is not the only one to blame. You can't blame the parents. Right. The parents have to get out here and for that. So you don't. That goes back to my saying when I just said it. You don't never say what your child wants to do. You don't know what your child might be doing, sir. So hold up now. Wait a minute. Before you go sweeping around somebody else's front door, you better watch it. You better watch it.
Mine have done wrong, ma'am.
Huh?
Mine have done wrong.
Yeah.
I've had to forget.
That's right. That's right. And that's true.
Oh, hold on.
And guess what? Man have done wrong too. But being a mother, you can't say it takes everybody to raise these kids. See, you're a father. So being a woman, we worry about everybody, everything. My kid ain't even in the United States. I had to send mine away. And guess what? I still worry about other people's kids. You a father.
Okay.
So don't say the kids. No, blame
I understand. Yeah, I feel what you're saying. I don't mean it totality. I don't mean it.
No.
Hold on, sister. Hold on. Let him talk. Let him talk now. Okay. Hold it. Go ahead, old timer. Let old timer talk.
Yeah, I don't mean it in its totality. Because I understand my children did. All 5 of them was raised up with a father and a mother in the home, and I was raised up with a father and mother in the home, and I did things I shouldn't have done. And some kind of way, by the grace of God, I survived. But I'm saying it's just right now, carrying guns carrying knives is nothing but a recipe for disaster. And we have to make sure you can't bring no gun across this threshold of my door. And that's just the way it's got to be. We got to have rules and regulations in our houses. Other than that, they're going to take over the house.
Yeah. Hey,
see, and when that happens,
old time, hold it.
Then what we got to do? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Somebody need to put their phone on mute because I hear some talking in the background. Somebody need to put their phone. Everybody put their phone on mute except the talker, the speaker. Come on, old time, because it's irritating me. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have to have a solution. I mean, the military is when they get 18 and they don't want to go to college, they got to go off to the military. That's the only place, unless they go into a trade school. You know, we got to let them go because you done brought them as far as you can take them. And you can't treat them like they're a 12-year-old after that. Because they got too much, they got too much hunger in them. They got to eat almost every 3 hours. And if you ain't got no money, then you got to find another way how to survive. And you're going to be confronted with this day after day. And then you're going to run with the friends that just like you are. Like they say, wrens run with wrens, and blackbirds fly with blackbirds. And that's the way it goes. And our children ain't going to tell us what they're doing, but we supposed to be smarter than them. You know, we're supposed to say, hey, what you doing? Put a tracking device on their car. And say, hey, what you doing over there? You got to outsmart it. So that's just the way it goes, man. And our children out too late at night. They need to be in the house. And then I tell you one thing, you put that double bolt deadlock on the door and tell them that they don't been by a certain time, they got to sleep on the porch. That'll stop them. Because you ain't going to come up in here. I'm in here laying down sleep. You coming in after I'm coming in. I don't know who's coming up in this house. So you got to stop them. They got to either they obey or they got to go find another place to live. And the fathers need to find out what their children doing. Now this is a perfect time, Father's Day coming up. Mm-hmm. Every father ought to be trying to find out what their sons and daughters doing, what they need. They should be spending this weekend with their children. If they're not, shame on them. Mm-hmm. So that's it. We got a solution to it. We just got to put it in action. Because action. Yeah, go ahead.
Like I said, old timer. I told the mother on here, I said it hit different with fathers. Mm-hmm. We can't doggone give our narrative of how we gonna run something and expect them to run it the same. They mothers, they ain't fathers. It hit different.
That's right.
It hit different. It's like, shoot, when my son was a certain age, say I double dare both the you ain't coming, you gonna sleep on the porch. Now he can find him a little girl he can
He don't care.
He already knows. Well, daddy gonna lock the door so I can stay up in this thing all night long and then come back. Well, I couldn't get in the house because, you know, the house is locked. No, the kids will use what you think is a discipline for their best doggone benefit. I did it myself. Okay? Oh, I can't get in the house? So that means I can stay at your place all day long. Your parents in New Orleans? They went to Mardi Gras? Hey.
Oh, I stuck up this gas station and store because, you know, I couldn't get in to eat because you told me I couldn't come in. They're going to reverse it and put it back on you.
Oh, yeah.
Martin,
Yeah, go ahead, sister.
can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
I want to address Old Timer. And he said that black children are the only children acting out. That is a complete lie. I'm looking at an article right now where it says 12-year-old boy and 14-year-old girl have shootout with cops. It's on YouTube. That's all you have to do is type that in, and they give a full story of this 12-year-old white child and a 14-year-old white female child, male and female, ran away from their Florida group home and broke into a home and stumbled across military style weapons, shotguns, AR 15, and had a shootout with the police. The police were begging, oh God, I don't want to do this. Oh, please, begging them to put the guns down. And they just kept shooting and firing and shooting. The girl ended up getting shot in the arm. Okay. See, they don't.
So they don't do no
I
killing
remember
on
that.
now.
I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not just black children.
At all.
These. No. And I can pull up several more articles of white children, Asian children, Mexican children acting out.
Let me ask you.
Acting out.
Let me ask you a question.
It's not just black children.
How old was that 6-year-old that shot the teacher? Was they white or black?
He was white.
They were white.
So,
In Virginia.
Yeah. Well, I tell you one thing.
What they amplify is one thing, and what's happening is another.
Well, I tell you one thing.
Exactly.
That's about the only thing I didn't agree with Old Timer. But everything else he said, I think he was on point. That's me personally.
He was on point with everything else.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to address that.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Hold on.
It's not just black children doing flash mobs. It's not just black children going into stores. I can go right now and pull up so many videos of white young people going into Sephora and different stores, Dick's Sporting Goods, and with big laundry bags, and just CVS, just clearing the shelves. Young, so it's not just black children. It's it's pushy.
Yeah, they just had something that happened down here last weekend.
Hold on, Sarge. That old time address that. Go ahead, old time.
She's right there. I wasn't nowhere near accurate about that. What I said, from what it appeared to be on TV lately, that black children are the only one doing this stuff. That's what I was saying. Now I grew up.
Hold on, old time, hold on. Yeah. Somebody got to put their phone on mute because I hear a little girl in the background. Somebody please put their phone on mute. Just put your phone on mute. You'll still be able to hear. Put your phone on mute, people.
She's singing.
It's somebody, little young girl singing, and I don't want to. It's kind of annoying on the live. Okay, go ahead, old timer.
Yeah, the city I grew up in, down in New Orleans, it was easy for you to learn how to do this stuff because you had a lot of projects and a lot of people used to do a lot of stuff. But I still couldn't bring the stuff in the house. Mm-hmm. I remember when, we ran into what they call a time saver. Got off the bus and so many people ran in there. And I was wondering in my mind, should I do it? And I went on and did it anyway. I didn't come out with much of nothing. But I was scared when I got home because whatever little thing I did have, I couldn't bring it in the house. So what I'm saying is that the children got to have a fear of their parents. And they cannot just do stuff and think they're going to arbitrarily get off with it because they're 16. That's the mindset that we have nowadays. And it's a little bit different from the 70s. They was doing it in the 70s too. But they done ratcheted it up now. And they can do it they can have reckless abandonment and go right home and act like they ain't did nothing. See, that part has to stop. And Reverend Jackson got all of these programs on it, Operation Push, and yet at the same time, our people on the news every day. That's the part I'm talking about. So, I mean, what are we going to do for our children? We can't keep on giving them a handout. They're going to have to get up and have a job, man. Employment and education, because a lot of us don't want God. Now, we have to admit that now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't want God.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to leave them to their own, and they got to go to work or they got to go to school. They can't keep running with Tyrone and James, because that's not going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what, people? Let me say, hold on. Let me say this. This is a man perspective, the way he see things. The mom spoke earlier, but this how men think. The way old timers talking, that's the way men think. But hold on before you say, I got another call. I don't want to leave nobody on too long. Hold on, old timer. You ain't got to go nowhere. Let me take this call. 7365. 7365.
Martin, this is Steve from South Holland.
Hey, Steve, how you doing? Good.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to give you a little bit of story here about, between white kids and black kids. Believe me, a lot of there are white kids that are acting just as bad as black kids. And I'll give you a story about what happened a couple of days ago when I saw an article on YouTube. This was about 2 days ago at Oklahoma. I think it happened it's at Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was a 12-year-old white girl had stabbed her 6-year-old brother to death.
Yes, she did.
While I think their mother was in the bed. And now they're blaming her did not take a medicine or anything like that. That was all I heard.
Yeah, I mean, we had a situation just happened 2 days ago. Right down here, right? Edgewood, the party strip. One person went to jail for jumping up on the police car in their little whole dress twerking. White girl. All the clubs closed, so the whole party, everybody's having such a good time that night, it filtered into the streets. People turned on their car stereos and they were still turning up, right? Mm-hmm. Police tried to clear the area. Oh, this one jumps on top of the car, working for everything she worked. They try to get off the car. She started swinging her purse at police officers. Oh, they locked her up for assault on the police officer. Wasn't no black girls on no police cars twerking.
Okay, I got a new caller, y'all. 900.
Hey, Martin.
Is that your phone making all that noise? People, please put your phone on mute, because I hear some.
No, that's not me, but I hear it though.
Okay, people, please, everybody, all you have to do is put your phone on mute. I need you to put your phone on mute, people, because I hear something. Or I'm going to have to mute you guys, and I don't want to mute you till I find out who it is. Okay, 900, go ahead.
Okay, hey, what y'all talking about for tonight?
Oh, no, I'm going to skip you, girl. You don't know what we're talking about. Come on now.
No, I just tuned in.
Okay, well, just wait then. You can listen then. Just wait. You'll find out. You'll find out. Just wait.
Right. Can I go mine?
Yeah, go ahead, sister. Yeah.
It's accountability. Everybody got to be whole for accountability. White, purple, Chinese, all these kids. Not only the black kids, but it's called accountability all the time. I wasn't trying to step on your toes, but it's called accountability. Everybody got to give accountability for what they do.
Okay. Old timer.
Yeah, and they need some background too, because see, it's just like when I was talking about the last woman, you know, when I was married to, right? And what happened with her son. We haven't communicated since the divorce. My number been the same number for 23 years. If that young man called me because he in a spot, he needs some help, I'm gonna help him. Because I'm like this, just because me and your mama, we ain't whatever, no more. I know your daddy ain't ish, so I'm as close to a daddy as you had. You need me, call me.
Right.
Well, don't be on no stupid, like, you know, we was up at the, and now I need this money for bail because nah. Now you hanging out with the wrong crowd, see? You supposed to be doing better. You too old for that. You 34 years old, 34, 36 years old. You got 2 kids, pimping. You supposed to be at work. That means you too tired to be out in the street.
Right.
Now, if you still running the street, I can't help you.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's something, a genuine problem, you know what I'm saying? Man, my head cover gasket went or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm just whatever came off the top of my head. Yeah, I'm gonna be there to help you. But you know,
Okay.
You called me up talking about it's something else. No, you know, you supposed to be better than that. You ending up on 40 years old.
Okay. Hold it, y'all. Again, I need you guys to mute your telephone. When you mute, you still can hear. Just mute your phone. Because it's irritating. Very irritating. I want to hear from Old Timer. Old Timer, I need you to speak.
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, you know, everybody making a good point. And the point is that we got to look at the amount of people that's in the system, in the jail system, and primarily a lot of our people is in that. Now, what they saying about the Caucasian children is right, you know. But somebody said the person got shot in the arm. Well, the police is more lenient. They more tolerant, and they're not gonna shoot and kill their people unless they just have to. And the thing that gets me, if they feel their way about their people, now I can't say that we out there doing the shooting because they say the person scramble away, so we don't know who's doing the shooting. I'm trying to make an excuse, say that they ain't black on black crime, but at the same time, if it is black on black crime, we need to learn how to love one another just like they do. And I'm going to tell you another thing too. Now that sister said that, but she's not going to tell you that what white people do, black people want to do the same thing that they're doing. If they carry a gun, black people want to carry a gun. If they shoot up, then black people want to shoot up. So we want to have the same rights and privileges that they have. And that's why, and we don't have those same, now we got those same rights and privileges, but it just ain't working for us in that area because we not as employed as much as them. They're not taking over their neighborhoods as much as our people take over our neighborhoods. I told you, Martin, you're not going to go to a white neighborhood and see no white boys taking over that corner. You're not going to see it. But you go to any black neighborhood and the boys that took over that corner all night long and all day long, and it seemed like to me, we done been there and done that. We ought to be tired of it. Ought to be tired of it.
Old time.
Yes,
Old
sir.
time.
No, let them talk. Let them talk. Don't cut them off.
No.
Let them talk. Come on, Old Time. Somebody, listen. Do me a favor. Do me a favor, people. Please put your phone on mute until I call on you. Thank you. Because it's too irritating. It's killing me. That noise in the background, I don't know what it is. I still hear it. Your phone should be on mute. If everybody phone on mute, you won't hear the noise. Okay, old timer, go ahead, finish up.
Yeah. So you got to look at it, and now the girls are fighting one another. They pulling one another hair out. They fighting like I don't know what. You know, so we have a problem across the board in our race, and I've been black all my life, all 6 to 7 years. So I've been seeing it all my life, and we ain't solved the problem yet. And you know what? We don't want to solve it. We do a lot of talking, but we ain't got no results. But the white people get out there, they'll go to the Supreme Court, they'll go out there and stand in the rain.
Yeah, they sure will.
They'll do all that stuff, and black people just sitting back at home trying to figure out how they're going to shoot their gun for the 4th of July.
Yep.
All that little crazy stuff.
One mic, please. Go ahead. Okay, hold it right there, old time.
So, yeah, we got to figure out what we want to do.
42-48. 42-48.
Hey, Martin, how's it going?
Good.
This is Bill. I've been listening, and this situation with the kids, the majority of it is bad parenting. You can't start raising a kid at 8, 9, 10 years old. You gotta start early, and then there's signs. When you got a kid that's not adhering to being disciplined, you know you got a problem. When your kid ain't ashamed to do certain things, like, for instance, that's what carried my generation. I grew up in the 70s. There was a certain amount of shame to doing wrong. You didn't want your neighbors and your grandma, your mama to know what you was doing. And now it's no shame. And no parent want to admit to bad parent. They just will not. We can't blame it on single mothers, daddy's gone, because we done seen people grow up okay through those situations. I got a bad echo on this phone, man.
Hold on, Bill. Hold on. Let me try. What about now? How's it now? Let me know if it's okay.
Let me see here. Yeah, that's a little better.
That's a little better. Okay.
Oh, it's not.
It's not? Okay.
Anyway.
Go ahead.
One thing nobody touched on is we got a bigger fight and a bigger battle than anybody imagined. The devil is busier than he ever been. We had the same influences that these kids, even more. You know we did. But we didn't want to go and shoot up everything and get rowdy and just act crazy. It's something going on. It's something going on. That's bigger than on the surface.
Yeah, I agree.
Just like they said, it's white kids, it's black kids. Stuff happened back in the day, but it's at a heightened level right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these guns with all these bullets. I carried guns as a teenager, and we had altercations or whatever. But it's a whole different beast now. And why? It's something beyond the eye.
Yes, it is. Hey, Bill, Hold it right there. I got two callers behind you.
Yeah.
Hold it right there. 6136. I'm coming back to you, 900. Don't worry. 6136.
Okay.
6136.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, sir? You're live, uncut, unedited.
Good. All right. Check it out. I want to address the violence,
Mm-hmm.
and I think so many people being shot and killed out here is because of the lack of common sense. If you know you at war with your rivals, why would you hang outside? And I see these young guys doing that. And 79th and Cottage Grove is a perfect example. Those people up over there know what's going on, and they up there drinking every day, dodging bullets like they're bulletproof. So, I mean, if we use more common sense, there'll be more lives saved. That's what I think.
Let me ask you a question, young man. I'm calling you young man. We probably the same age. Do you give that same common sense to a 12 or 13 or 14 or 15, 16-year-old?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not the ones being shot, though.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yeah, the young people are being shot more than anybody. Yes, they are. They're doing the shooting, and they're getting killed more than anybody. Most of these killings now,
Yeah,
man.
they're doing the shooting.
Yeah, it's the young people.
That
Yeah,
legal
like the
farm
teenagers.
is full of young people.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, what you
Now,
see, what you don't think it's the young people, or you think it's the old people? Which one you think?
it's the teenagers.
That's
It's
the young
the
people.
14 and up.
Yeah, young people. I'm 54, so I'll probably say young people. I'm old enough to be their grandfather almost. Yeah, probably am. Yeah. Okay. Well, hold it right there, caller. Let me take this. I got two more callers. 8371, then we're going to let 900 go. 8371.
How you doing, Brother Martin? This is 10 Speed, 60644.
Yes, sir.
Brother, it's all about the parents. It's all about the parenting, man. 90% of it is the parents. Listen, my father died when I was 1 year old. My mother raised me and my brother. I'm 50, I'll be 55, he's 56. So my mother, man, my aunt would tell us, she would just look at the carriage, see me crying, and we would stop instantly. Now, my mother was that way until the day she died. When she left, that don't turn the TV on. The fear of turning the TV on and it's hot when she get in, it was something else. My mother put fear on us. She was a dictator. It was not that we had choices for this and choices for that. What she said was the golden rule. Me and my brother to this day ain't never, ever had handcuffs or been in jail. My mother explained, man, listen, you see them extension cords right there. It's going to stay on that table. When you get home, I'm going to get on the phone, I'm going to beat your ass. I know you said something smart to the teacher. And the thought of that, man, was just the beat downs. I even have, man, my mother said, listen, have you ever been in jail before? No. Have you ever got suspended from school? I said, no. So I did my job. My mother, man, was not my friend. My mother, man, was a straight dictator, man. She was any dictator you could name. That's what she was. And the parents are not like this today. The parents are distracted with their own personal likes and dislikes. And even some going to start social media. Now, when that older gentleman had said it started me young, my mother stopped, as my aunt said, she stopped when y'all was in the crib. See, it's the parenting. When you see all these black kids out of here, with all this stuff, man, all you got to do, man, is look at the parents that they have. Their parents had no discipline. When they were kids that age, they don't care. So I heard the young lady, she used an example of a young white kid. They shoot the police. You know, that happens periodically here and there. But we're talking about a bunch of kids always going to certain places, storming stores, coming out with clothes. How many white kids in any area have you seen in Chicagoland or any place that's doing that? And you might say, well, they're doing it. It's not
downtown when they killed George Floyd. When they did George Floyd, they were all downtown.
No. We're talking about
and everywhere else.
We're talking about the police thing. We're talking about the violence that our kids are bringing out in such a great number. For instance, when you go downtown, those kids that were downtown, they was majority black. Those kids that run to those stores, it's the Gold Coast or whether it's in the suburbs, they majority black.
Let me
we
say
are the worst parents on the planet now.
Hold it. Let me just say something. I want to say something real quick. Now, I was filming during the George Floyd riots downtown. I'm talking about downtown. I'll say this, and I'm not bragging, nothing like that. Every major store, high-end store, jewelry store, clothing store, the white boys hit that first. They was showing the black guys how to break into ATM. That's how they learned to do it. The white people taught them. I'm telling you, bro, this is the truth. It's the truth.
I believe you, brother.
I understand.
That was a riot.
Yeah.
That was a riot. We talking about not a riot. We talking about our kids out of hand. See, that's a riot. We know what's going to happen during riots. But when it comes to our kids doing things at massive numbers, like for instance, at a crowd or just going, I know these kids around my house. They doing this stuff. They would go to other neighborhoods just to shoot at people for no reason at all. They come back around the block laughing like it's a joke to see what's going on. We are doing this. Listen to me. Black parenting is at an all-time low in America. We are the worst. If we can accept the fact that we are the worst parent, not individually, but as a group of people, as Black Americans, if we can accept the fact that we are the worst, look at the music we're producing. Passionate clothes. Our kids are the ones. I'm not a white kid going to school shooting up a crowd. I'm talking about our kids that still street thugging. In the cops, how many white kids in a metropolitan area like Chicago getting up every day, going to somebody else, carjacking them, and taking their cars? It's mostly our kids. And you can disagree because wait, you disagreeing because you don't want to hear the truth about our people because you're a decent person.
No, that's not the reason I'm
decent. But this is not. I'll let you say this, but let me say this right. Listen, because I really want to hear what you got to say. When you look out into the areas you hear about what's going on, you can tell if it's a black teenager committing these crimes or not. Can you tell that? And if so, why do you disagree with me? Go ahead.
First of all, I want to ask you a question.
Yes,
we don't go all the way back to Hurricane Katrina up until recently.
No, we talking about
program. And I'm no. You're programmed, and I'm going to show you exactly how I know you're programmed.
Oh, no.
When we look at the media, when we look at the media and we see Black people, our people, looting and breaking in the stores and setting fires and acting a fool, what does the media say? Savage, criminal.
Talking about looting.
Hold on. We're talking about crime. It's a crime. Wait. I didn't cut you off. We're talking about crime. Okay. So now when you see rowdy white people after it's a big game and they lost the game, what happens? They destroying, setting fires, looting, tearing up, and what does the media say? A crowd, a bunch of fans have things have spiraled out of control. They say everything except for what it is. Criminal. Hold on. They say everything except. Wait a minute.
Hold it, sir.
Wait a minute. They say everything except for what it is. They won't call it savage. They won't call it criminal. Even with Hurricane Katrina, when they showed Black people stealing, it was criminal. When they showed white people stealing, it was survival. So you're not going to sit on here and say that it's only Black people. You're programmed by what the media says.
I don't care about. Listen, I'm programmed what I see in my neighborhood and what I see in Black Chicago.
Okay, but I see it all over. I see it all over.
Right.
I grew up with white people, so you're not going to sit here and say that white people don't.
I didn't say they don't, sister.
I grew up in Clinton, Iowa. I saw white people robbing and stealing, and I didn't move to Chicago till I was 14, honey. I grew up in a hick corn town in Clinton, Iowa. Okay, and then white people gets down. They on drugs, they killing and robbing and stealing. Okay.
Can I interject?
Okay. Hold it, y'all.
No. I didn't say that. Sister. They doing it Anchorage, Alaska too.
Hold it. Go ahead, Bill.
Can I interject?
Go, Bill. Go. Go ahead.
Hey, That's my wife talking. Now, I disagree with her to a certain degree right now. Me and her have private conversations, and we see white people doing crime, but I'm seeing things a little different just from hearing this conversation. We gotta do like Malcolm X. Stop worrying about what the white people doing. We gotta take care of our own.
Thank you.
We gotta take care of our own. We see what it is. When we see them and acknowledge them, okay, there, that's cool. I hate they doing it, but we got a bigger problem with ours right here.
Right. What you think about the parenting, bro? Brother, what you think about our parenting in the past 10 years as far as parenting?
I said parenting is the biggest problem. You can't start raising a kid.
That's right.
At 8, 9, or 10. And when you got a kid that's acting up and you can't have a healthy fear, they can't have a healthy fear of you, it's a problem. And when they're not ashamed to do things in front of you, what makes you think they're not going to do things when they're not around you?
Man, in my 40s and 30s, I did not cuss at my mother. I didn't curse in front of my mother. But the thing about my mother was
Me
that
neither.
I don't do it the law down when I was a baby. We were kids. Man, listen, you know how scared I was to come home about 8, 9 years old, and I know the day before, and I cleaned those dishes, didn't do them dishes right. I knew what was happening to me. See, it was more fear. Then as I got older, it became more love. But she feared me to the point where I was not about to go do something because I knew what to expect. Even as a grown man who became a father, I was so scared of my mother. I didn't tell my mother I had a child. When she found out, it was such a funny thing in the world. But she explained to me, I didn't want y'all to be like them. I had to get y'all from the very moment my husband died when y'all was babies. So I had to stay on you all. I mean, the fear of it. My friends talk about how my mother had me and my brother Chet at my mother's funeral. How her law was just the golden rule, even when they come over. So if our parenting is not parenting with a strong arm and with the verbal mouth of my word is law, it ain't happening. I can't listen to no certain music in front of my mama. I can't use the word damn. With my daughter in the house, I couldn't get too loud. Mama,
lack of respect these days.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a rule I had to follow in her house.
Okay.
And guess what? Our parents do not get rules.
Okay, hold it, brother. Hold it. Let me see.
You got too many.
Hold it.
Too many parents yelling cusses at their kids.
Yeah. Hold it, y'all. Hold it. I'm gonna let 900. I'm gonna say something before 900 say something. I got one after 900. What I'm seeing here tonight is I'm seeing the men have a different perspective from the women. That's what I'm seeing here tonight. I just wanted to say that. Come on, 900. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Martin, I agree with those two men. And I just want to say something before I start real quick. The reason you see the difference between in the opinion of the men and the women, because, overall men are more logical. Women are more emotional. They look at the emotional side, the touchy-feely type stuff. The men are just more logical. So that's why you're seeing that. But what I was going to say is, they're right. What the first guy was saying, and what I've been saying this whole time, speaking as a group, not individually. I'm talking about as a collective. So when I make certain comments, about the Black community, obviously I ain't talking about every single Black person. I'm talking about collectively, and I'm not just talking about what I know based on social media. I'm talking about, like what he said, my own lived experiences and the interaction that I see in everyday life. Because I live in a Black neighborhood. Even here in Georgia, I still live in a predominantly Black neighborhood. There are some white people scattered here and about, but it's predominantly Black. And again, the parenting overall in the Black community is just dismal at best. And it's just he's right. People, the family, the mothers, because most of these kids, like speaking from statistics now, not just from what I'm saying. You can look these statistics up. Most of these black children are being brought up in single parent homes, and the mothers are so self-absorbed thanks to social media. They're more interested in bickering with their baby fathers and being on social media and thirst trapping, and they're such narcissists. They don't have any social skills, and they're just not emotionally available. They have mental problems. So they grow up and they grow up and they produce these kind of kids. And they're not taught to have any kind of boundaries. The parents today, they don't know how to establish any kind of order or boundaries. They're more interested in being their kids' friends. And when it comes to how black mothers particular treat their black sons opposed to how they treat their black daughters, it's like night and day. Because even in my household, I saw a slight difference. It wasn't a big difference, but I saw a slight difference in how I was treated and how my brother was treated. And I know boys and girls are different, but overall, black women make their black sons to be the king of the house, and they demonize the black girls, and when it gets to be a certain age, they want to be in competition with their daughters. When she start hitting puberty and she start filling out and she start getting attention from men, she want to, it's horrible. It's horrible. But that's why I say there's a whole lot of dysfunction and psychological problems that we have.
Okay.
It runs deep.
Okay.
It runs deep.
Hold it. Let me ask you a question. No. I'm finna ask her a question. That's why I stopped her.
Okay.
What are some of the solutions that you suggest for the black community? Black women, black mothers, black parents.
Well, like I said the other day,
need solutions.
We need to
go ahead.
Oh, I know. Like I said the other day, we need to start getting back married. We need to start forming families, because that's really where it starts. It starts in the home. And another thing is we need to just get back to the basics, Mark. We need to get back to
like
that
what?
How
About
I'm about
doing
to
what?
explain. We need to get back. I'm about to explain. We need to get back to how our grandmothers were, how our great grandmothers were. And another thing, Mark. I know it's controversial.
Hold it. We got to stay with one time. Now you said we need to get back to where our grandma. What did our grandmothers do? What did they do? Tell us.
Well,
I need
one,
you. Hold on. Just like you identified the problems, I need you to identify your solutions. Go ahead. Go ahead, my
right.
good sister.
So for one, they knew how to, at least from my experience now, growing up around older people from in the 60s, 70s, and 80s from Mississippi. They knew the women knew their rightful place in the home, and they knew their rightful place in accordance to their husband. So they had to respect, because like I said, I come from a traditional home, and growing up around older people, born and raised in Mississippi. So I saw these things. They knew how to work alongside their man instead of trying to be in competition with them. They weren't putting them down. They cooked, they cleaned, they had helpful skills that were useful to the household.
Okay. Hold it right there. I got a question.
Right.
I went to public school here in the city of Chicago, so I need you to spell out traditional home. What do you mean by traditional home? What do you mean?
Traditional home. There's a mother, there's a father, there's order, there's boundaries, there's rules in place, there's structure.
Okay.
That's basically what it is.
Okay. I'm just asking. I just want to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Need structure.
Yes, because Martin, even though I didn't grow up the traditional way. I mean, I was raised by my mom, but I would see my dad on the weekends. Like I said, I was raised in a home with like six people, and besides my mom and my brother, there was my grandmother, my great grandmother, my great aunt, my grandfather, so my mom's father, and then his wife, his girlfriend moved in, so there was like six of us, and between them, they was all like 60 and above, ranging into their 80s. And they was all from Mississippi. So this is in the early 2000s where the time period was already different. So I already had this, this kind of influence growing up. You know, and it's just night and day. You know, like this other caller was saying, the things that he don't do and say in front of his mom. Like I said, you know, the way even in some of the stuff I see on social media with these kids, they have their parents.
Hold it. I need solutions now. I don't need you to point out no more. You already point out a lot of bad things.
Okay. The first solution, like I said, we need to get back to getting married. And to the people who say, "Oh, marriage is not the answer," and things can still happen, because you know this is the thing that people like to do. They like to play this game where they like to say, "Oh, well, marriage ain't the answer either." Well, you know what? It's a lot better than being a single parent. That's like saying, well, smoking crack is bad, you know, but smoking heroin ain't no better. You know, it's like they both. You know, it's like, come on now. So. Marriage, we need to start with traditional marriage, because when the kids don't have an order to look to, what do you expect them? How do you expect them to be stable? You already starting them out with no foundation. You already starting them out with a rocky foundation because they need two parents. That's God's design, you know, for a man to leave his mother and father and to be joined with his wife, and she is supposed to be under his order. That's why I say this is controversial to a degree, but I don't care, because this is the way it is. Men and women today are both out of order. Men and women today are both out of order, and this is the reason why things are the way they are, not just in the Black community, but everywhere. But since we're talking about the Black community, especially in the Black community, especially when you see what's going on now with all this stuff, you know, Black men and Black women in competition with each other, it's crazy.
Okay.
But
All right. Hold it. Okay. Let me get this one caller, then I'll let you go, my dear sister. They've been holding on for a long time. Okay. 7365. Okay. 73, I apologize for I had so many people, they start calling in. But 7365. Come on, caller. 7365.
Smart, it's me, Steve again.
Hey, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I know you're trying to get out of here, but I just got a quick question I'm talking about the parents today. Do you think they're doing the right thing by just let their teen kids, I'm talking about maybe around 13, 14-year-old, do you think they're doing the right thing by let their kids make their own decisions?
Okay. Now I'm going to answer that question. I'll let somebody answer. I also have a daughter that's 14 years old. And my daughter likes to dress like a boy, tomboy. I told my daughter, as long as I'm buying these clothes, I'm not buying nothing that look like no boy. Now, you got an option. I gave her an option to say yes or no. And Sharice, you know, you be on the phone with me when I take her shopping. And I tell her.
Yep.
And you know I buy my daughter. If she pick out something, if I can afford it, I buy it. The price ain't no issue.
Take her shopping all the time.
So my point is, I'm at the end of the day, I'm going to let her have her say so far as what she say. But at the end of the day, if I'm spending my money, I'm going to have the last say so as the parent, as the father. So I don't know how these other houses operate. I don't operate like that. Now, I do want it. I want my daughter to have a voice. Don't get me wrong. I don't want her to just be quiet and be afraid to talk to, but I want her to give me some feedback. And I'm going to tell her, this is the reason why I'm doing the way I'm doing it. And I explain to her. All right. Anybody else want to answer that question real quick?
I want to say, Mom.
Go ahead, sister.
I want to address the caller. I have a 22-year-old. I have raised my daughter being a single mom with the help of my grandma and my mom. And I am a single parent. So my question is to you, do you have any kids?
900?
No, I don't.
Okay, so I ask you that because being a mother, it's a hard job. It's a 24-hour job. You never stop. You never get off your beat. So I had to ask you that because I also got a 17-year-old, by the grace of God. I raised my kids. I didn't play with my kids. It took me at the age of 43 just to have a drink in front of my mom. And my mom would be 81 years old in April. So if you ain't been no mom, you really can't fill our food, sweetheart.
What are you
really
talking about?
don't know.
I don't have to be a mom to say anything I said. Everything
That's
I
right.
said is
That's
correct.
right.
What you talking about?
Well, no, I'm talking about you saying we got to get back to family household.
We do. We do.
Yeah,
We do.
yeah,
We do.
we do get back to traditional household.
Yes,
we
yes,
do.
we
Please
do.
don't get on here and make excuses, ma'am. Please don't get in here and
I'm
make
not,
excuses.
no.
Please don't do that.
Mark, can I
Take
say
responsibility.
Okay.
No.
Can I say
Take
something,
accountability.
Okay,
Can I
hold
say
it.
something?
Hold it,
Please,
y'all.
can I
Hold-
say something?
hold- Who is that talking? What's your last 4 digits? Who said that? Who's it?
I'm the first caller that first got on here.
Yeah, okay,
before
go ahead.
everybody started calling.
2634. Go ahead, 2634. Let me hear what you have to say. Go ahead.
Okay.
One mic.
What I'm gonna say, I listen to everything that everybody say, and it's like as soon as I started, all the calls start coming in.
Mm-hmm.
My thing or whatever is this. The problem start as they say, everything like everybody says, social media, everything that everybody is saying, what's going on with this and that's what's going on. The big issue or whatever is when I was growing up, like this young man said, that I was scared of what my parents did. My kids was the same way because that's how I was raised. Now you got people telling you how to raise your kids, what you can do and what you can't do.
Mm-hmm.
If you do this, you going to jail. When they start
Go to
doing
jail.
this, when they start doing this, that's when all hell broke out.
No.
You took God.
Hey,
You
hold
can
it.
still discipline your
Yeah,
kids.
hold it, y'all. I had to get a laugh. The people in the messages are so brutal. Somebody said that somebody carbon monoxide. Stop it.
What somebody say, Martin?
They said it's somebody carbon monoxide detector keep going off.
I know. I hear it.
Yeah, that's somebody's smoke detector keep going off.
Hey, Mark,
That's irritating as hell.
I can't help it, people. Y'all brutal in the message.
It ain't matter.
No, I've been listening to this. It's irritating.
It is irritating. It is irritating.
That's irritating.
I'm sorry, baby. That's mine.
Okay. Okay.
Well, change the battery.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to throw the conversation off.
Smoking 7 cigarettes.
Okay, I'm
I just want
sorry.
to say one thing. This is
Go ahead. Go ahead,
this
sir.
Kinsey. Can I say one thing, please?
Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, brother. Well, my mother always talked about the word of God when I was a little kid. The word of God is the law of the land, and she explained to me that in this house, she's the word of God. Sat there in front of my grandmother. She told my grandmother, "Watch this. When I say jump, what you gonna say? How high?" And they just laughed, right? But the thing about it is that my mother made it very important that her word is actual law. Every week, when I was like between 8, I was 8 years old. I remember 8 years old. She came up there and told the teacher, "I need a weekly report on him and my brother, and my brother Martin." So every Friday, the teacher had to actually give me a note. Give me a note. And the note will let know what day I act up, when I act up. My mother's doing that, right? So one time, she gave me a note. I made like I lost it. My cousin found it, gave it to my mother, beat me to the house. I see that note on the floor. I see that note on the bed. And I see the extension cord right there. And I knew what time it was, right? But what I'm saying is, she said her word was law. And she let me know that she is the word of God. I mean, it's to the point that my grandma was amazed, like, man, how you get these kids like this? You know what I mean? The thing about it is, my mother started when we were kids. See, it's all about parenting. And my mother had no excuses. There was no excuse for anything that would happen. I'll give you this one story. My brother was acting up, like he wanted to fight. My mother found out. I'm in the next room. All I hear is her beating him down. She didn't bring a dust about the extension cord. The teacher was like, wow, he was too scared of her. She beat him down right in front of the classroom. And after that point, he never wanted to be fighting anybody anymore. You know what I mean? My mother said, look here, you do these dishes for a whole month. You didn't do so and so and so. What I'm saying is she gave rules. She gave laws. And anything I wanted from her, I had to sign from it, even as an adult. I'm saying that there was a certain respect that she gave that when I left her house, I took it with me. And she's gone. She's gone. She's over 3 years. Guess what? I'm in the house I was born in, which is her place up here. I knew my mother always had an issue about that house being clean. When my mother left, I laid in the room, I got drunk. I woke up 4 o'clock, I heard somebody 4 o'clock in the morning, my spirit, get your ass and clean my kitchen right now. I got up 4 o'clock in the morning and cleaned that kitchen up. And she was gone for like a month after that. And I keep this kitchen clean and tip-top condition because the law that she gave me is still in my mind. It's still in my mind. Ain't not one woman ever said I disrespect them. Because the law that she gave, it was so true, it was so real. And our people are not living by this supernatural spiritual law. We're so busy caught up into this social media, or like the young lady said, the mother won't be in competition with the daughter. When the daughter started getting the booty, getting the titties, they get in competition. It's all about the word of law that your parents give to you. And Martin, I'm sure that your parent or somebody told you something, and to this day you actually live by it.
Yes, I do.
That's all I want to say. The word is power, and it has to come from that parent, those parents. And my mother was a single parent by herself, a mother. Had to go to work and everything. There was nobody around us. All we knew was that when it's time for her to come home, the fear takes place. And then we all good.
Okay.
So we need
Hey,
to
Martin.
Okay, go ahead, Sarge. You've been quiet long. Yes, sir, Sarge. Go ahead.
Can I throw in this is scared kid? You know what the scariest thing was growing up? I'm gonna tell your father.
Mm-hmm.
You be good. You be sitting there, and you know you get home from work about 5, 6 o'clock. You're looking at that clock. Every minute that tick, you sweating away. That's when you get back to the traditional standards thereof. Now, the mother will be the disciplinarian. He's not that he's at work. But if you get beside yourself to the point, you ain't going to listen to her. See, mama going to say, I'm going to just tell your daddy because I ain't going to play with you. And mama pick up that phone. Sorry, somebody running the kitchen water in their sink. It's a done deal. See what happened, and people want to ignore the truth. When they had that feminist movement in the 70s, all them black women joined up with them white liberal women, and after that, the white liberal women they went back home to their doggone husbands. They felt vindicated because they've been heard. Black women came back not needing a black man.
Right.
And that is what has brought everything into where it's at today. It ain't got nothing to do with social media and the this one and the music and the all that. All of those are excuses. Anybody from Chicago can look up Chicago murders, 1974. There was 970 homicides in 1974. I remember that because I was 11 years old and I couldn't go outside and play because it was too dangerous. We ain't had no Facebook. We didn't even have Atari. We didn't have Sega Genesis, PlayStation. We didn't have none of that.
Okay. All right, let me ask
black folks need to stop moving the goalposts, using all these anecdotal excuses, and just stop it.
Hold on, 900. Hold on. I need Old Timer. Old Timer. Then I'm gonna get Bill after this. Old Timer, are you there? 4093. Old Timer.
Yes, sir. I'm still here.
All right. Now let me ask you a question, brother. Let me ask you a question. Then I'm gonna go from you to I'm gonna go to Bill. Now what we're doing right now in the 2000s is not working. It's obvious because look at the fruits. Look at the fruits of our children. Look at the fruits. I'm talking about as a group now, not individual, as a group, Now, everybody get on here, include myself. Back in the day when I was coming up, I did this, we did it. We might have to go back to back in the day to get this thing back on track. What do you say about that, Old Timer?
Well, I agree with what the brother just said just now. Let me tell you what happened. And I'm gonna make this short. I was cutting up in school. Now the biggest thing, when my father went to PTA meeting, The biggest disappointment that he had, it wasn't so much, well, it was that he didn't want me to cut up. But when the teacher told him that I was capable of better work, that's the thing that got it. That's the thing right there. He said, so in other words, you can do better and you just not even doing it. I never forgot it. And I kept messing around. I was hiding my books on the way coming home. They told me, don't go outside. Get your work done. I was slipping outside, thinking my mother wasn't telling him. And one day I come home, like that brother said, the father come home around a certain time. And I went in the house. I said, how you doing, Dad? And he was out there washing his car. He said, how you doing, son? And when I got in the house, I saw all those switches up on the bed up there. I saw all those switches on the bed. And boy, I was in there doing my homework like never before. So he came in the house, he closed one door, and then he went back and closed the other door that he came in. He said, I thought I told you I didn't want you to go outside. And brother, he whipped me so bad. I never forgot it up to this day. I did, you know what, in my underwear. That's how bad he whipped me.
Wow.
And when I tried to run, I ran. It was so bad that I ran to my auntie house next door. Before I can close the door, the last switch came and stopped me, cut me across the face. And he never had no trouble on me since that day. So all I'm talking about, I believe what that brother said, but I'm also going to address what the other brother said about people going and they stealing those clothes. We the one doing that stuff.
Thank you.
We the one that's doing that stuff. And it's all out here in Gurnee. They're going all up there in Wisconsin doing it. And they ain't even ashamed of it. So all I'm saying is that we got to come up with our own solution. I don't think, my personal opinion, I don't think we want to come up with no solution.
Because
let me tell you something. We don't want to come up, and what black people better understand is that the middle class blacks and the upper class blacks have long time ago separated themselves from the lower class blacks.
Yeah.
And it's going to stay that way.
We like being
It's going to stay that way.
I'm going to say this, brother.
Hold on, brother.
Brother,
hold on. I'll give you a chance, but I got one person.
I'm going to hang it up, Mark.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, old time.
I would say, brother, that sister.
Well, I'm just saying it's going to stay that way until we desire to make it better. We got a chance to clean up our neighborhoods. We got a chance to make our neighborhoods better. Man, but you know what? We got to get up and go to work. It's fine to run with your partner. It's time to run. You got a time to run with Tyrone. But, brother, you can't be hanging around no bunch of hard-legged brothers all day. You got to go get you a job.
No, I got somebody else coming ahead.
But there are no mentors out there. There are no mentors out there.
Yeah, hold on. Bill, hold on. Bill, I need Bill to talk. Come on, Bill. 4248.
Okay.
Bill, go ahead.
I'm listening to everything, man. And the bottom line is we got to get back to tradition. It take a village. You know, it was a lot of single parents when I grew up in the 60s. I'm 61 right now. I grew up in the late 60s and 70s. And a lot of the people that grew up being with single parents grew up all right. But there was structure. There were rules. There were people that helped within the family. Everybody that spoke on something positive and got something out of life to carry them on. Grandma was around. T.T. was around, you know, even through the crack epidemic. When mothers fell off with their kids or whatever, grandma was there. T.T. was there. You know, it take all of us, man. I mean, the neighbors. And it got to the point where a lot of parents, men and women, have distanced themselves from their kids, and they think because they give them stuff, that's the world or that's everything. You got to spend time with your kids. You got to pay attention to your kids.
You lazy.
And just the lady that was on here first, I believe. I feel for you being a single mother, but don't take away from a brother that he can't love his child as hard as you do. Because there's some brothers out here that got raised kids by themselves for whatever reason. Mother died, cracked, whatever. But he worried too. A man is capable of loving his child as hard as a woman.
Amen.
Look at Martin. It's a lot of and just because the father ain't there, that ain't an excuse for these kids to go out and do the things they did. Just like Martin just said, it's my wife that he called and talked to about different things in shopping with his daughter. He gave her a choice. The choice was hers. He gonna give her what she wants. He ain't with her mama, but he a dad, and she knows she can call him. He gonna address any situation that go along with her being raised. Brothers have to step up to the plate.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of mothers right now that need to step up to the plate instead of going out 3-4 nights out of the week. You neglecting your kids.
They don't want to sacrifice.
You neglecting something.
Yeah, and one thing that they
Hold on,
hold
on, Red. I mean, your side.
That's supposed to be more important than your kids.
Let the brother
as
talk.
As a parent, nothing. And if you raising your kid in an urban area, whether it's Chicago or wherever, and people are getting killed on your block and around the corner, maybe it's time to move.
Hello.
Maybe stop buying cut down on some cigarettes or go to social service and get out of there. If you truly love your kid.
Yeah. I want to hang it up, Martin. This is Brother Tinsley. I'm going to say one thing.
Okay, because I got Dr. Sanders. Go ahead, brother. Because Dr. Sanders been waiting. Go ahead.
That sister said, what can save the black community is marriage. I'm single, but I fully believe that marriage can actually save the black community. Whether you married, you get married, you're 50, 40, 20, or 30. This is why I believe that. It's because, number one, we haven't been traditional since the 70s. As far as marriage, we have not been traditional. What we have been doing, we have been baby daddies and baby mamas. So
hello.
Get with somebody. We always say, okay, look at that's just my child by that lady. Even if we say it respectfully. I'm not talking about somebody that got married. You get married and get divorced. I'm talking about to understand that when that sister said tradition, that she had a grandmama, even great grandmama, even grandfather in the house, these folks will help. It was help in raising her. See, it's a difference between coming up. He just came up, or he was raised. I was raised in my DNA from my mother. I was raised. It's like other people that and some came up and she cultivated with like that. See, only marriage can save us. And I understand we talk about a lot of black women, a lot of black men are just so sensitive and so weak. I understand what's going on right now through social media, what's happening, or how they portraying us, or even how we portray ourselves. But I'm a single man, been single for a long time. But I honestly believe, before I hang up, that what that sister said, that can only save the black community is traditional marriage.
Structure.
And I'm talking with the best show in Chicagoland. Up in my brother 10 Speed, 60644. Martin, I appreciate your show. You are the best show out here. I gotta go, but family, peace and love.
All right. Dr. Sanders, go ahead.
Yes,
Tell
you
the
already
truth.
know what it is.
And shame the
Yeah.
devil.
Hey, Martin.
Dr. Sanders.
Hey, Martin.
No. Side.
Live, uncut.
Dr. Sanders. Dr. Sanders, she been waiting.
I'm here.
Go ahead, Dr. Sanders. You've been waiting. Go ahead.
I recall the late Bishop Carlos Moody in the International AIDS Convention back in Cincinnati, Ohio, had a discussion with the young people and the parents. His exact words were, parents control what your children wear. You have an accountability to teach your children the proper things to put on, what is relevant for them to wear. He started with the young ladies. He said, young ladies have to be taught by their mothers. Or if they don't have their mothers and their grandmothers in their life, they got to be able to show them how to carry themselves as young ladies. They have to know how to take care of themselves when they have their cycles, because men don't understand when a young lady is having one because you're not cramping. He said, but the way that she approaches herself and brings herself into the world is very important, because this is how crime starts to happen. They start to get flirted with. They start to be, looked upon like a 5-piece, Hell's Chicken meal.
Mm-hmm.
He said the women have to teach them, and the men teach the boys how to be gentlemen, how to walk, how to talk, how to carry themselves. As parents, you are held.
Oh, Lord. I think that was my phone. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, she's still talking. She don't even know I'm on. That was my phone, people. Hold on. It do that sometime. Let me call back. She was talking. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry, people. Sorry about that. It happens sometime.
Hey, caller.
Dr. Sanders, hold on.
AKA
hold it, Dr. Sanders, if you can hear me.
Uncut,
hold it.
Unedited broadcast. Just before you speak, please turn.
All right, give Dr. Sanders a minute, because my phone went out. My line went out. Hold it, Dr. Sanders. Hold it.
Echo. Too short.
Hold it, Dr.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Sanders, my phone went out. I want you to go back. Dr. Sanders, my phone went out. I want you to go back when you said the minister, when you said, I think
Mr. Moody, Carlos Moody.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Start from that point. Yeah, go ahead.
Carlos Moody. Well, his son is known for writing the song, I'm Available to You, but Bishop Moody, he passed a few years back. But in the convention, he talked about the way the Bible identified what parents' role is. And Martin, when you were talking about what you take with your daughter when you go shopping, you don't allow her to pick out what she wants. You allow her to wear what's appropriate. What's appropriate, because as we know and we see the young ladies, they're wearing stuff. They wearing these tight spandex leggings that you can see all up in the crack of their behind. You can see them wearing the thongs and all of that, and then they got all this stuff. They got the breasts, they got all the tattoos, they got it all over the place. But then when a man approaches them, I understand what you're saying, but I'm talking about what the young ladies are wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have that happening, this is what he was saying. You've got to teach them. You have to teach them. My cousin has a baby mother. She came by my house many years ago, and she came in and she had all her stuff hanging out. Had on a short. And I say short. If you bend over, you can see everything, including her back. And I told her, I said, do you know what the police looking at you as? And she said, I just wearing it because it's hot outside. I said, no, you look like a hooker. That's what you look like with a baby cat. It's the presentation of it. So if you know how to teach your daughters how to wear things, that means they're going to idolize you. Someone just interjected. If you wear, as a mother, appropriate clothing, your daughters will follow what you wear. But if you allow them to go the opposite, you got to teach them and tell them the truth. Because a lot of them want boyfriends. Martin, you already know that. You got daughters. I only got 1 and 5 boys. These girls want to be somebody's girlfriend. And that's nice. But guess what? You want to be a wife. If that's what you want to be. You don't have to be. It's not a law that you have to be married. But there are a lot of things that a lot of them don't know. And even there are some parents that still dress appropriate, and you got wayward children. The Bible talks about that. Runaway child running wild. You got to lay into them the right way. And even if the father's not in the house, the fathers need to get with the mothers and say, how are we going to co-parent together without fighting one another, without, with your mama, and your daddy. We got to stop talking about each other, in front of the kids. That's so wrong. I don't like your mama because, or I like your dad because. That is so ignorant. And this is why some of these kids are confused, about the co-parenting. But if you do it like the word said, you won't have a problem. But you have a society now that says do it any way you want to. Sound familiar, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
And giving them too much freedom. They don't know what to do because they're wayward. They don't know. They weren't born here to know it. We got to teach them. And it's going to hurt them. They may not like the teaching, but we have to do it. But you're accountable. Bishop Moody said that. He said, you as parents are held accountable, and you're going to have to deal with God.
Okay, Sarge. Go ahead, Sarge. Sarge.
Well, five words what women need to stop doing to their sons. 5 words, Martin.
Go ahead. I said go.
Just like your damn daddy.
And we know what you mean by that. Okay, I think that's
Yes, sir, Brother Martin.
Go ahead, old timer.
Live uncut.
That's it. And
unedited. You already know what it is.
You know what it is.
Amen. God bless you.
You already know what it is. Live.
Keep your wheel
uncut,
turning, man.
Unedited.
Yes, right. I'm going to keep it coming, people. We've been on 2 hours and 11 minutes. I want to appreciate all the guests. I'm going to hold it right there. I thank y'all so much. We'll be back tomorrow. This was really been interesting. It really have. And I've learned something. I've listened. I learned that the men think different than the women. And I want to say something real quick. I love my children. I believe in my heart just as much as their mothers do. I love them. I tell you, I love my children. I'm telling you, if they ain't have nowhere to go, they can come in my house anytime. But they got to follow my rules, though. That's it. That's all I ask. You got to put some skin in the game. Got to put some skin in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's all I want to say. I appreciate y'all. I know we could say more. But we're going to end it right here, people. End it right here. I don't want to get burned out. I want to be able to come back on tomorrow. Well, I might be a little late tomorrow, so might come on a little early. So thank you guys so much. It's it. I got to go.
You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited.
This is where we
tell the truth.
And what?
And shame the devil.
And I don't care what y'all say about black people, but I love being black.
I love being black.